Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to write the equation of a line that goes through 2 points. Okay? It's actually fairly straightforward. In order for us to do that, we're going to use the points, by the way, or the coordinates 5, 7, and -3, 4. The first thing that we're going to need to do is find the slope of the line that goes between those 2 points, right? So find the slope first, and then secondly, we're going to use the point slope form of an equation, and then we're going to transform that point slope form into the slope-intercept form, which is a really popular form that most students like to use. So slope-intercept form. Intercept. There we go. All right, so let's get started. So how do you find the slope of a line? So the first thing you do when you find the slope of the line is to use the slope formula. Okay, and the slope formula is simply m, which is the letter that we use for slope. It's y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Now, what do those mean? Let's just start with the x1 and the y1. Either one of these 2 points should be designated as the x1, y1 point, right? So let's just pretend it's this one up here. We'll call this x1, y1. It doesn't have to be. It could be this one down here. Since this is the x1, y1, this is going to be the x2, y2 point. And now we just go ahead and plug in the numbers where they are relevant, right? So y2 will be -4. We'll say -4 minus y1, which is 7. And then we're going to divide that by the x2, which is -3 minus 5. Okay? That's going to give me, let's do our calculations correctly here. -4 minus 7 is a -11. And -3 minus 5 is -8. And remember that when you divide a negative by a negative, you're simply canceling the negatives out, and you get 11 over 8 positive. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Because if we are looking at this particular line, let's draw a line through there. You can see that it's going in the upward direction, right, which is a positive direction. So a positive 11 over 8 makes sense. Remember also that the slope is simply the rise over the run, right? Let's just talk about that really quickly. What is the rise over the run? If I were to start here at this point and I were to count all the way up to the same level as this point, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I just lost that there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Isn't that surprising? So that I would go up along the y-axis 11 points, and then I would go in the positive direction 8, and it should be right there. Let's just see if that's true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rise over run equals 11 over 8. That's just another visual way of getting the slope. Now, once we've actually done that, let's put that information along with one of the points into the point slope form. Now, what is the point slope form? It's going to look kind of familiar. It's y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. It looks like a form, really, of the slope form or the slope formula, doesn't it? And we can talk about that in a different video. But for right now, let's just go ahead and plug in numbers. Now, what we want to do, what you need to be careful, is to make sure that you plug in the information that we have into these very specific points. You plug it in the x value here, you plug in the slope here, and you plug in the y value of your point here. You leave the x and you leave this y without the subscripts. You leave those alone. Okay? Now let me show you what I mean. We're going to choose one of the points that lies along this line, and luckily we have 2 points. So let's just choose one of them. Let's choose this one up here. We'll say y minus 7 is equal to 11 over 8, which is our slope, the other point we have to substitute, times the quantity x minus 5. This equation right here is actually the equation of the line right here that goes between those 2 points. All right? Now, I wanted to do one last thing. I was going to change that point slope form to the slope-intercept form. It's really fairly straightforward how to do that. Let's just go back to our equation, y minus 7. Let's distribute 11 over 8 into the parentheses, right? So I'll get 11x over 8 minus 55 over 8. I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So I'm going to get y is equal to 11 over 8x minus 55 over 8 plus 7. Add these two numbers together and you'll have your slope-intercept form. Now, we can do this using decimals, or we can use this just using fractions. I prefer fractions. I think they're a little bit more accurate. How do I change 7 into a number that has 8 in the denominator, right? What do I do? So what I really need to do is just basically multiply by 8 over 8, which is just 1. Whenever you multiply some number by 1, you're going to change the form of it, but not the value, the quantity, right? So 8 over 8 times 7 over 1. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 7 is 56. So down here now, I'll get 56 over 8. And now I can change that 7 to 56 over 8. Okay? Negative 55 over 8 plus a positive 56 over 8 gives me a positive 1 over 8. So my equation will end up being y is equal to 11 over 8x plus 1 over 8, and that's the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Okay, both of these equations are exactly the same thing. It's the equation of the line that goes through here. So briefly again, what do? Find the slope of the line here first, use this formula, then take one of the points, doesn't make any difference which one, plug it into here. If you need to stop right here, that's perfectly okay. If you want to convert it to slope-intercept form, just do a little bit of algebra, and there it is right there. Okay, I hope that was helpful to you.